everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are going to start with the invocation. Commissioner Pettis?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes. Under state law, a conflict of interest exists if a council member or certain members of that person's family has a qualifying financial interest in an agenda items. Members with a conflict of interest cannot participate in the discussion nor vote on the agenda item. Are there any known conflicts of interest to disclose at this time?
None.
Danny?
None.
None, my hair.
None.
On consent item F, that's the one I'm going to ask for to be taken out, so I will not vote on it.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, on the consent agenda on F?
2F, yes. It's interlocal with the county, so I'm not going to vote on it.
Yes, we have Raymond Reyes, 706 Tucker Drive, and he would like to speak on progress.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Raymond Reyes, 706 Nantucket Drive, obviously Harlingen. I just wanted to touch briefly on progress. I think that there's a lot of changes that are continuing to come our way. Harlingen's, in my opinion, on the brink of progressing forward, changing some things around. There's a lot of new interest, at least I know on the IT side, being that I've been in that industry for about 36 years and have done it in about 30 countries around the world. So there's some great opportunities that are coming our way. I just hope that that the right choices are made for the right reasons, and not for the benefit of said groups, but for the citizens as a whole of Harlingen. In my time frame of being here and going back and forth from San Antonio, things haven't always panned out and gone in the right direction for the benefit of all. But I think we have the right individuals in place that we can ensure that the things move forward in a positive note for the city of Harlingen. And I'm around a lot more now that I'm trying to enjoy my 5 grandkids. So I plan to be very active on what's going on within the city and being up to par and keeping up to speed. And that's basically all I have. I just want to, see Harlingen reach its full potential, and it can continue, in my opinion, to illuminate that star that's in our logo and be the center point of the valley. We've slipped, but everybody, loses traction. But I think we're back on track, and we just need to move forward, basically. So thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate it. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
The next one is Desi Martinez, 1806 Heavenford Boulevard, and consent agenda item B.
Yes, on GLO grant that you're all applying for on consent, I provided you a little information. And ditto, I agree with what the gentleman just said. We all need to work together. On drainage, which is one of our priorities to keep an eye on, I'd like to comment that the charter says the city commission, that's section 13, city commission shall create and consolidate such offices and may divide the administration of the city's affairs into such departments as they may deem advisable and may discontinue any such office or department to their discretion. On drainage, such an important issue, I'm providing you a pathway to that we need a czar on drainage, or we need a coach on drainage, same thing. We need a director of drainage, and you can create a department for this without causing any dire expense to our present revenue by utilizing the GLO funds that are coming down the tube that was just announced June 22nd, as we all research in our business, and utilizing some of the local funds from EDC and the 4B and 4A, being your two groups that you have, two corporations in town. That one is run by the city. The purpose is you can see in the first map that we have a multiple degree of a drainage, a very complex system between arroyo and a levee, which is run by the federal government. And this city, this metropolitan area, provides jobs and opportunity, and drainage is a problem we should lead. And we should lead with a separate department. You can get rid of it when we fix the drainage problems. But we haven't done anything of this magnitude with this opportunity that faces you today. And I just offered you as city manager and his assistant, because first, the city manager's been working at a whole different type of ball game before. Second, your assistant has just come into town. Your engineer just came into town. You need somebody that can coach this thing now, take this opportunity of funding from other sources, and get it done right. Don't miss the opportunity. I know it's on planning and zoning, has some things to do with it, but if they can work in cooperation, planning and zoning, and that planning and zoning, their thoughts is, we need to do like Hidalgo. We're nothing like Hidalgo. We're between the levee and the arroyo, from Mercedes out, and we're going north. Please take that in consideration.
Thank you, sir.
The next one, we have Jack Brogdon, 4613 Willow Tree Way, and he would like to be called, and it's in regards to city tax rate. Mr. Brogdon, this is Amanda Elizondo, City Secretary for the City of Harlingen. And you asked to speak under Citizens Communication. You have 3 minutes, sir, and I will start the clock right now. Give me just a little. Okay, you're on, sir.
Okay. Yes. I was asking that I noticed the appraisal district had increased the taxes for the houses for the appraisal values to increase the revenue for the city and the county, and I'm asking that the commissioners will take in consideration that the increase in revenue based upon the appraisal district, that they have the ability to roll back the tax rate for the city to give citizens a relief due to the increase in inflation and cost of living.
Is that it, sir?
Yes, that's it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
One more. We have Cristina Fonseca, 8271 Business 83, and she would like to talk about the budget and would like to be called.
Yes,
Mrs. Fonseca, this is Amanda. You requested to, okay, let me start the clock. You have 3 minutes, ma'am. And
Thank you.
you may start now.
thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Christina Fonseca. As you heard, I'm in District 5. I'm just calling to, on behalf of the Humane Society and their request recently for increased funding. Right now, they have an emergency at their Humane Society. They are really overrun, and this has been going on for so long. A year ago, around this time, I had to adopt about 4 or 5 cats just because we couldn't take them in. They were overrun. Now he's letting us know that they're at a point where they might have to take away certain services that would benefit me and my family and my neighborhood, because we have a high increase of strays and cats, and just they're everywhere. And so he's talking about, the lights being cut off in October. That's not good. And especially since we're talking about a communications department where we're careful with, we want to have a good perception of Harlingen. I believe the commissioner said perception is reality, but actually reality is reality, and our reality will be that we have to start euthanizing animals soon. And what does that say about Harlingen? We should center our priorities around life, human life, kids' lives, and the actual quality of life for our Harlingen citizens. So I really implore you to look at the budget again and find the funding that Mr. Quintanilla needs to bring us into the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That's it?
Wonderful, thank you.
That's it.
Item number 1 is approval of minutes. Do we have a motion to
Motion.
approve?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes. Now moving on to item number 2, the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, I ask that we bypass 2B and discuss that right after the voting for the consent agenda. I have a question or two on that one, that's it.
Understood. So we're going to remove 2B from the consent agenda, and do we have a motion for the consent agenda, sorry, A, C, D, E, and F?
I think Daniel wants to take out F.
And okay, I misunderstood. I thought you weren't going to vote on the consent agenda because of F. So you want me to remove F from the consent agenda?
Correct, and then we would vote on it separately. So I'll vote on A, C, D, and E, or we would vote on it, and then you guys would vote on F, and I would abstain for sure, on just that one.
Okay. So we will remove both B and F. Do we have a motion for the remainder?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Now we'll go to 2B, consideration and possible action to approve a resolution authorizing the city manager to submit a grant application to the General Land Office Resilient Communities Program.
Okay, this is my question. I don't know if it's for you, Gabe, or Robert back over there. When did the previous, I'm gonna call it capital improvement plan expire? Did it just expire, or is it gonna expire, or did it expire like September 30th of last year?
The plans, Commissioner, really don't expire. They just get updated on a frequent basis. Generally, every 5 years, you want to try to redo your plan,
Okay,
but there generally is no expiration date on capital.
okay. Do we have something working as far as that's the capital improvement plan? Do we have something working as far as the strategic plan report?
What we
That-
consider, we actually have two documents that are ACR at the planning session at the Command Center. And the first was the comprehensive plan. We had actual capital improvement projects in it. And we actually had a meeting with the commission where some of those projects were prioritized. And from there, we came up with our needs list to vote on immediately, and that's what we've been working on.
So that would, what you just mentioned will be, in lieu of the strategic plan report, that would take care, that would substitute?
But no, this, the plan, this actually refers to the comprehensive plan, the one vision, 100. So that's what it's referring to in the actual item 2B.
Okay,
So that's in the actual plan that we had commissioned about 7 years ago. That's what we're mentioning, that's what we're referencing in this particular document.
okay, so I understand that, but I guess my question is on this, the meeting that we held back in July, I want to say, that SGR, is that going to work in conjunction with the expired, let's call it, capital improvement plan? That's what I'm trying to get. It,
No, I don't think it will, because those are, they are projects that we're gonna be, going towards, but I think the one vision, 100 actually had, concrete projects that need to be done, that identified in the plan. Whereas the plans that we had talked about general avenues, increasing, tourism to Harlingen, increasing retail sales, things of that nature. This plan itself actually had concrete versus drainage projects that were identified, park projects that were identified, the actual have construction, dollars tied to it.
okay, and that's what that's for this $300,000 grant that you're asking for?
This will be for a hazard mitigation plan for drainage. So, yes, it'll be for only drainage projects commission.
Only what, drainage?
Yes, the hazard mitigation plan, which refers to drainage.
In reference to the idea that Mr. Martinez brought with this 300, it cause any fallback on what we're probably liable to do and do this coach or this SAR for planning and drainage, or would it be able to work together?
No, I don't think we can use this for salaries.
What's that?
We can't use this for salaries. Generally, when you have a plan that you're applying for, it's generally for either a study or for construction dollars. They generally don't allow for,
Okay, I understand that. Okay, so this, what we're looking at right now is just to do the study, correct?
yes.
And in the meantime, we can use the previous one vision, one Harlingen, because we don't want to wait for 2 years to get the study done, correct?
Well, we have been addressing some of those drainage needs that were identified in the one vision, one Harlingen, and applying for some of those. Matter of fact, some of those projects were identified by the commission as priority projects, and so we've been working towards those. And we still continue to work towards those. While simultaneously having a drainage project that's being looked at on a regional basis, including cities of Harlingen, Grenada, Combs, Palm Valley, all the way up to the outfall in the northern part of the county.
Correct. But on that particular study, obviously, I'd fall under Commissioner Pedro, who doesn't want to wait, and I don't either. But here, we're trying to move forward to try to get these projects done. And I don't know how to ask this particular question, so I'm going to fumble through it. With this capital improvement plan that we're going to update, and would it turn around and cost us harm if we decide in a month or so we want to float bonds and really go after the major, have a major impact on our flooding and drainage issues, including the wastewater issues that we have?
You can issue bonds at any time as long as you have capacity to do that.
Just repeat, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, I think your mic is out.
Well, it's not, I can't get it to turn on, it's not,
Yes, there is.
Okay, there we go. Okay, you can issue debt anytime, as long as you have capacity to do so. So that's not an issue. It's just identifying the projects that you actually want to have that debt issued to actually construct. What we were hoping to do was get this regional study completed, and then once it's done, then use that to apply for grant fundings that might help us do that. Now, of course, it's going to take a while, a few years to get that completed. And it is a multi-million-dollar study, so it's going to be comprehensive.
I understand that. But once again, I don't want to be waiting for another 2 years or 3 years to make a real impact on our issues. That's one of my biggest concerns.
Right. Now, we do have a study that we did about 6 years ago solely on the city of Harlingen that we could perhaps use to identify new projects to issue debt or to work in conjunction with issuing debt and trying to get ARPA funds or infrastructure funds to actually get those constructed. So we have a multiple of options. It's just a matter of getting the funding to actually do them, because the amount of money needed just to identify the needs and drainage for the city of Harlingen are into the hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's going to be expensive.
I picked that up back in July. It's substantial, to say the
Yes, sir.
least. Okay.
Any other discussion? Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, consideration and possible action to approve a resolution authorizing the city manager on behalf of the city of Harlingen to enter into an interlocal agreement with the city of Brownsville and the county of Cameron to submit a grant application for joint funding to the Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, JAG local solicitation. Do you have a motion?
Saucy. Should Daniel leave?
No, he doesn't have to leave. He just has to recuse himself from the discussion and from the vote.
Okay, just looking out for you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Close your eyes, Daniel. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. On to new business. We have item number 3, consideration and possible action to select the highest ranking firm and authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a contract pursuant to RFQ number 2022-16, request for qualifications for classification and compensation study and staffing analysis. Gabe?
Mayor, members of the commission, on June 27, 2020, the staff issued a RFQ for qualifications for classifying compensation study and staffing analysis. We sent the RFQ to 15 companies that requested them, and 3 submitted proposals. Copies of those proposals were sent to your Dropbox. We had the proposal submitted by Bolton, Evergreen Solutions, and Gallagher Benefit Services. So what I'm asking the commission to do today in trying to get the study that the mayor had requested was simply to rank these proposals. We don't have to rank them 1 through 3. I'd like to get just the first 2 perhaps, so that we could start negotiations with that firm to actually get this study underway.
Did everybody have an opportunity to review them?
Honestly,
ma'am.
go ahead, sir.
To me, Evergreen was clearly, I mean, they had the best plan, the best details, step by step how they were going to do it. Shortest time frame. I didn't see any of the other 2 were even close to Evergreen.
And I think one of the things about Evergreen was that they put some cost estimates for what they had done for other cities, and it was reasonable.
You're taking a survey, is that what you're doing, Gabe?
Yes, from the commission. I'd like to have these ranked.
Ditto.
Yeah, I would concur with Commissioner Kingsley.
Well, what we can do is perhaps just identify that as a firm to negotiate with, and we can go from there. 'Cause I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to work out some sort of agreement.
I don't question that. I guess my question is, doesn't this fall under your umbrella, your purview?
Well, no, ranking the firms is something
No,
that.
no. The fact of the classification compensation study of staff analysis. Isn't that part of your,
No, I can't conduct one of those analyses. This is going to be a comprehensive report on every position in the city except for police and fire. And they're going to compare a lot of what they look at to other communities in the state and maybe even nation as well. So,
okay.
Commissioner, this is something that we had passed in a previous meeting, and now he's coming with the 3 and was just asking for the ranking, but we had approved to go out for the RFQs at a prior meeting.
So, okay. If we basically all agree on evergreen, can we just make a motion to choose evergreen?
that would work, and I think that we should be able to work out some sort of reasonable compensation with Evergreen to actually get started.
Okay, well, I make a motion to approve evergreen
Sec-
as the firm to conduct this study.
I think maybe we change the motion to say, maybe we move to allow Gabriel to negotiate and select Evergreen as necessary moving forward, right?
What Daniel said.
Negotiate the price.
So then if there's an issue, you can move on to one of the other 2, should you have to.
Well, we haven't identified the second one. The commission would have to identify the second firm for me to negotiate with.
Bolton, in my mind, was number 2.
Everybody okay with that? We can do that. That could be part of the motion. Evergreen first, then if we can't come to terms, then use Bolton as a second.
That's fine.
Did you want to make that motion, Daniel?
I move to allow Gabriel to negotiate with Evergreen the top 2 selections this year and proceed forward as appropriate.
Do you have a
Second.
second? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, consideration and possible action to propose a desired tax rate for fiscal year 2022 to 2023 and schedule 2 public hearings to be held on Wednesday, September 14th, 2022, a special meeting, and Wednesday, September 21st, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. Robert?
Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners. In accordance with the tax code, which requires that when we propose a tax rate that exceeds a no new revenue tax rate, and the taxing unit must vote on the proposed rate with a record vote and schedule public hearings on the proposed tax rate. So we are proposing, we've already did the calculation based on the certified totals that we received from the appraisal district. And so we have calculated the no new revenue rate and the voter approval rate. And we are proposing to go with the voter approval rate, which is .607187, which does exceed the no new revenue tax rate of .588999, which is the tax rate that was used to calculate the proposed budget for 2022-2023. On the attachment, we do have the notice, which we did post on our website for the 2022 notice of the tax rates, which includes the no new revenue rate and the voter approval rate.
Just to point out, that rate is lower than our current tax rate now.
It is lower
Right.
than our current tax rate.
I saw that.
And then also, we need to set two meetings, in September 14th, a special meeting, and on Wednesday, September 21st, a regular meeting.
Shouldn't we complete the budget first and have an idea how much we're going to spend before we decide on what tax rate we should use?
So we're not setting the tax rate at this moment. We are just notifying you that I've done the calculation based on the certified totals, and that the calculation has determined what the highest rate that we can go without going for voter approval, and the lowest rate that would generate the same amount of revenue that we collected in the previous year.
If we go above this rate, we'll have to go to the voters to get it approved.
Right.
So what the finance director is saying is that we're going to have to stay within this rate regardless of what happens, because anything above that, and we have to go and ask the voters to approve it. So
And this is
that-
not setting the rate. It's just notifying that these are the 2 rates that were calculated.
Right, the rate that we're going to be recommending, the
Gotcha.
voter approval rate.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 5, consideration and possible action to declare the itemized list of non-real estate personal property as surplus personal property as recommended by staff and authorize city personnel to conduct a public auction of said property on Saturday, August 27th, 2022.
Thank you, Mayor. So on an annual basis, we send out listings to all departments, and they provide us with a listing of the salvage items that they want to put in the auction. And so this year, the City of Harlingen, the airport, and the Housing Authority are participating in this auction. And so we are providing you a list of the auction items that will be auctioned on August 27th. We are using the same auctioneer, and it is going to be an online auction, which we have done in the past 3 years. And we have actually gotten better return on the online auction because, of course, it's nationwide that anybody can participate. So they can participate locally or nationwide. And so this is just a listing for you all to approve to move forward with that auction.
We can't sell any items unless they're declared surplus by the city council, so that's what we're asking you to do now.
Sounds wonderful.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 6, consideration and possible action to approve the installation of speed humps along Lexington Avenue. And this was put on by Commissioner Rini Perez and Commissioner Frank Morales.
This is just another set of speed humps that I'm trying to get for an area of my district that the residents in that neighborhood have reached out to me. They want the speed humps. So I'm asking that they go in front of, that we approve them so they can go to the engineer and get analyzed to see if we can put some speed humps there.
Any discussion? All those in favor, is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And item number 7, presentation by Robert Espericueta on the proposed The House Club. If you can approach.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, gentlemen. I have a little 1-minute, 11-second video that I'd like for y'all to watch to open up, and then I can maybe go into explaining what it is that I'm so desperately trying to bring into.
So I guess we're going to watch it.
Feel for its members with no rate. You no longer need to travel to Houston, Austin, or San Antonio to play legal poker. We have a certificate of occupancy through the city. We have a sales and tax use permit through the state of Texas.
To stay legal, there is a no-rake rule that is always in effect. We offer both tournaments and cash games. We are equipped with Poker Atlas Table Captain. First, become a THC member with our hostess after joining and have taken a picture to issue you a player card. Second, load your card with time. Make your way to the Cage cash booth. Third, take your chips and make your way over to our tables. Give the dealer your member card, he'll swipe it, and your time at the table begins. New member promotion links in the bio. Senior citizen promotion links in the bio. www.thehouseclubtx.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3 years ago, my wife and I ventured out to open our first social club in Hidalgo County. About 8 years ago, a gentleman who worked at at our state capitol, figured out that private games of poker were legal if they were conducted in a manner to where it was a private club and there are no house advantages. This means that when there are people playing in a game of Texas Hold'em, and if there are several players or 10, and everybody bets, at the end, the winner gets everything that was pushed into the center of the pot, everything that was wagered. Our clubs monetize this by regulating it, orchestrating, putting on the club and the tournament games, and we charge by the hour, much like a gym would. We have monthly fees, and then our members come in and they sit down and play by the hour, and we have no interest or any gain or any kind of, I guess we don't care to say it simply, who wins or loses, because the amount that's being bet and what's being wagered amongst our members is amongst them. We've been operating for 2 years in Hidalgo County. We just got our permit for the McAllen, our second location, and back in October, I ventured out to lease a building here. We've already modified it. We've already leased it, and we're ready to open. And I'm here today to help pacify any stigma or concerns that you all might have in regards to bringing these kind of clubs, or this club specifically, to your city. This is something that every major metropolitan area in the state of Texas now is not only is saturated with. I mean, San Antonio, Houston, Austin, Dallas, South Padre Island is 23 hours away from having their first club opening its doors. This is in Cameron County. Suits has been in Cameron County, 8 miles away from the district attorney's office for the last 4 years, which I'm currently still a member in. Our clubs bring philanthropy, jobs, and tax money to every city we come to. Today, as we sit right now, I've had a location, my landlord is sitting here. Since October, we've been ready pretty much to open and bring our club, which currently I have 600 members that reside in this area that are taking their money to Edinburgh and McAllen to play at our club. These members of the house club are the reason why we wanted to open here. We're trying to keep them off the roads, keep them in their hometowns, and I want to expand my business. I'm here to hopefully answer any questions or change any kind of stigmas that you all might have in regards to the type of business that I'm running. I was told that it was illegal, and the truth of the matter is that that's not the case. I have a license from the state of Texas. I pay my tax dollars. We're fully auditable by the IRS, by any municipality, by any police station or entity that wants to come in and check us out. We run our clubs by the book and within the realm that the state of Texas has outlined for us. So I'm here to ask you all yet again to hopefully reconsider and allow us a 1 to 2 year trial period in which I will be able to open my doors and offer this entertainment venue to your residents and to the 600 members who already live here who are traveling outside, and open my club here. I don't know exactly what the reasons were as to why we were told no last time, but seeing that there has been just a lot of back and forth, and I've had the opportunity to educate some people within the city about it, I still feel that this is a good home for our club, and we're trying to get here. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? I'm really not sure what the formalities are here.
Yeah, I have a question for our attorney. Are you familiar with any of these laws?
Yes, I'm familiar with the laws.
Okay. I'm on the Texas State Law Library site, and there's all sorts of info. I don't know anything about this.
And I'll be happy to discuss this matter with you in executive session.
Okay.
Do you have a question for Mr. Espericueta? Because I would like him to make some clarifications.
Yeah, so do you have a beer, wine, liquor license?
No, sir, we do not. We do not sell any kind of alcoholic beverages at our facilities.
Okay, how do you make your money?
I make my money we are a fee-based entity. So for instance, if anybody wanted to become a member, the function would be very similar to that of a gym. They would come in, fill out our members' agreements, fill out all of our auto debit information, and now we charge them $30 a month to have access to our facility. Once they have access to our facility, we offer 2 types of games. We have tournaments. In the last 3 years, my tournaments have produced over $500,000 in prize money for our members. I've sent 4 representatives of the Valley to the WSOP in Las Vegas, and we've given away about 3 or 4 brand new Camaros, not to mention a couple of Harley Davidsons. We make money through the tournaments. The house has a fee, which is called the seating fee. And if somebody wants to come in and play cash, where there's no tournament involved, they can sit down and leave whenever they'd like. We charge them $12 an hour to occupy our seat so that our dealer can deal them a regulated game of Texas Hold'em.
Okay, so you charge $30 a month whether someone shows up or not.
That is
if they're a
correct, and
member.
currently I'm up to
And
about
it's
2,000
$12
members.
an hour to just come play poker with other people.
Yes, sir.
And what's your tournament fee?
I'm sorry?
What is your tournament fee?
$25
And that's per hour or per tournament?
per entry.
Okay, and then, unfamiliar with Texas gambling and all that sort, you're able then to open accounts at banks and
Yes, sir.
bank this money?
Correct. I've
So-
had
So
no-
there's no
No, sir.
federal?
No, sir. In fact, the
concerns
bank
on-
has their debit machines in our facilities for the last 3 years. Wells Fargo, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We've been audited twice by the IRS, and we paid last year over $120,000 worth of comptroller taxes. I'm licensed. Every single dollar that comes into our club is accounted for, from the fees to the hours. At any given moment, Poker Atlas, which is the entity that I am licensed through, can send a rep to audit our day-to-day operations. And that would consist of them coming in, making sure that everybody is above the age of 21, and that everybody has paid their dues and everybody is in the facility that is in our system, so to speak.
So, you mentioned taxes, to the comptroller and all that.
Yes, sir.
So does this generate any tax to the state of Texas, the Cameron County, or the city of Harlingen?
It will. It will
In
generate
what manners,
taxes.
please?
I don't know exactly, but I know that I paid the state of Texas in one lump sum check over $76,000 3 months ago. And I can provide proof of that, where they're taxing me for the hours that we're billing for the individuals who are seated at our tables for our fees, which are monthly, and for our, the snacks that we sell and the things of that nature, Cokes, waters, coffees, and stuff like that.
So when you sell non-alcoholic beverages, tea and coffee, et cetera, then is there sales tax applied to that?
Yes, sir.
And how long, or have you been open in Edinburgh?
Yes, ma'am, for 3 years.
For 3 years?
Yes.
And did you start with you said conditional?
No, ma'am, the city, I had the access to speak to the district attorney at the time, Rick, or still Rick Rodriguez, and I did exactly what I'm doing here for the city of Edinburgh. I came and I educated them as best as I could. At the time, I was still a novice. I did not know exactly the ins and outs of the rules and the laws and what the regulations were, but they were very accommodating, and we pretty much learned everything together. The district attorney told me, Robert, I don't know how to answer or condone this, but what I can tell you is that I'm going to reach out to the district attorneys in these other counties, such as, San Antonio and the bigger places, and I'll get back to you. 3 days later, he called me and said that he personally had no issues with us opening, and if the city was to allow it, they have full autonomy over it, and they can do so. After that, I had a little lunch and learn, and I was fortunate enough that 2 of the individuals who were on the commission were very familiar with this type of business up north and were members, and they were, to say the least, they were excited that there was going to be a venue here that they weren't going to have to drive to anymore. The fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, is that, and I'm going to use, I hate to use this as a reference, but today there are smoke shops, such as the Monkey's House, and I did this before I came here, where you can go in to this facility and you can buy what looks, smells, and smokes just like marijuana. But the laws have changed and evolution has happened, and for whatever reason, through percentages and numbers and how it's being taxed, that's allowed. There's still a stigma attached to it. I don't recommend anybody go buy it, but that's happening. Well, poker is very similar to that. There are illegal games going on in the city right now. all over the place in every county. Our club is a relief from that. It gives the people who want to play the game and want to refine their skills at it a legal, affordable, and very, very safe way to do it. I'm not trying to invent the wheel here or reinvent it. This isn't something that is unfamiliar to the state of Texas. In fact, there are over 86 clubs and over 888 tables right now, today, in the state of Texas, generating income through these methods that are all affiliated with Poker Atlas and the Table Captain, which I am the second company south of San Antonio that has this license. I would love to bring it to the city of Harlingen.
How many jobs do you intend to create in the city of Harlingen?
Madam Mayor, every table that I have currently, the facility that I designed is equipped with 6 tables and can accommodate 9. At full capacity, I could run a crew of maybe 25 to 30 individuals, from dealers to floor managers and hostesses and security guards. Currently, I employ and take on off-duty police officers to secure the premises that we operate currently. So yeah, I can safely say that I can bring in between 15 and 30 new permanent jobs here for
You
for our
mentioned
club.
police officers.
Yes, sir.
Under Texas state law, are you required to have police officers?
No, sir.
Are you required to have security officers?
No, sir. Under state law, it is a private club, and security is 100% up to us and to our discretion. I, however, being that my wife, my daughter, and my son, we all collaborate to make this happen, I choose to have and pay the extra money for the cops to be on the premises while they're off duty, because my family works there, and it is a place where money changes hands. We have police officers escort people to their cars when they want to, and it's just an extra mile that we do for our members.
And can one bring weapons into this?
No, sir. We
That's
post up
state law?
signs. Yes, we post up both 3606 and 3607 signage on the doors so that nobody can bring in firearms. There's a security guard at the door, and before anybody walks in, they need to present their member card. And if they're not a member, they'll go in through a separate door that'll take them straight to a hostess that will sign them up and lobby them in and create their membership before they get any access to any of our tables or our amenities.
Saucy, you mentioned executive session for the next regular city meeting. Could you prepare information?
No, I think there's a consultation item.
Today.
Actually,
Right.
Actually, Mayor, with your leave, I would ask that I'd be permitted to ask just a couple questions from Mr. Espero-Cuerta, just to clarify some issues I have.
Yeah, unless any of the commission have questions?
Just one or a
Yes, sir.
couple. You already answered one, which was an age limit of minimal 21. Where's your location at?
In this, my location, I have 2 right now that we have
No, I'm referring, if you were to get Harlingen.
directly next to the Buffalo Wild Wings on here on West Harrison. It's 1407 West
Okay.
Harrison. Again, the building is already done and fitted. There's cameras above where the tables are going to be. We are literally lacking just our signage on the outside to open up our doors.
Okay.
The investments have been made and money has been put into this facility already by both me and the landlord, who has been a part of the construction committee here in Harlingen for 22 years. And I'd be happy to answer any other questions. And just by the way, the legal age limit to get into a poker club in the state of Texas is 18. In my club, I jumped it up to 21.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for the commission? Mark?
Yes, Mr. Espero-Cuerta, you state that this is a private poker club. My question to you would be, if someone wants to become a member of your club, what do they have to do? What qualifications do they have to become a member of your club?
The qualifications are that you need to be at least 21 years of age. And you need to read 3 pages that I have digitally put up on a screen for every person to come in. Code of conduct, membership agreement, and our billing form that allows us to bill your account every month for the $30, much like any gym. Once they have gone through the process of filling out these forms and, you know, checking off the box that they read everything, they're allowed to be a member as long as they're paying their dues and they act accordingly, so to speak. We have the right to refuse or to terminate any member whenever we feel fit.
Okay, other than those three criteria, are there any other criteria for membership in this private club?
No, sir, not that I'm aware of at the moment. You have to be over the age of 21, you have to be a poker player, and you have to agree and abide by our club rules and regulations.
My next question deals with, and forgive me, I'm not
Absolutely.
a poker player myself.
Definitely.
Can an individual come in and just on a one-to-one basis play the dealer?
No, sir, never.
Okay.
Never.
So
Our
there's
dealers.
no one-on-one games?
No, there are one-on-one games that are.
But between members?
But between members. Our dealers do not engage in any kind of playing unless they are completely off the clock.
So there's
and
no.
are there
okay,
as members.
Okay, right. So there's no situation where the house would win?
Absolutely not.
And that's what you mean by the no rake rule?
Well, the no rake rule is, for instance, if there are 3 individuals on a table playing and everybody puts in $100, at the end of the hand, you have won. The dealer is going to shift you $300, exactly what was wagered. Casinos and other licensed gambling entities have the right to go into that pot and pull out a service fee, what is referred to as a rake. This is known as a house advantage because the house always wins in that case. I only win if people opt to come and pay me to sit to play at a regulated table.
Do your dealers ever play the game with the customers? In other words,
No,
do they
sir.
have a hand?
Never, never. A dealer, not a waitress, nobody who is on the clock or working or representing our club ever engages in a betting fashion with anybody or a game in itself. No, sir, that's not the way the game's played. The dealer in any poker game never has a hand. So I can see how that's a question, but no, the answer to that is no.
That's all I have right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you have another?
Yes, so Saucy, the next regular meeting, I'd like a legal rundown from you in executive session, just to answer any and all
I can probably
questions.
answer any question you want right today. But that's
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm literally, and I know it doesn't really matter, but I'm literally at the end of my rope here financially. Our club is so strung out because of the investments that we made in this city that another week, 2 or 3 of delays will literally chop me off at the legs here, and we want to be here, and I think that we deserve to be here. Our business is not any more or less questionable than any head shop here in town or Pokey's Planet or anything. We offer no liabilities to the city whatsoever. The chief of police, which I'm sure you have access to, ma'am, from Edinburgh and from McAllen, will both attest that we've never had outcalls, we've never had issues. This is a family-run club. I have raised over $20-some thousand for nonprofit organizations in the city. Casa Vidalgo has been one of our biggest nonprofits that we support. My wife left her job there to help us open. Our dream is to open and to bring a legal scene of this type of venue to Cameron County. Thus far, there are no poker clubs with our kind of technology or sophistication or regulation in Cameron County. All of the clubs that are open in Cameron County are running on a mom and pop dime and taking notes and doing Excel sheets. I have the Poker Atlas and Table Captain system at my beck and call, and this is the same system that every person in here who has been to Las Vegas and has been offered a player's card at a table, this is the same system that they utilize in 80% of the casinos throughout the globe. I'm talking Guam, China, just everywhere. This is the system that I operate, and it is expensive to say the least because of the securities that it offers. I'm talking, I can offer the police station access to our camera so that they can see everything that's going on. The sophistication that our club has to offer and the technology is literally second to none. I'm using the same system that multi-billion-dollar casinos are using. Although we're not a gambling entity, this is just the software. So I really, really implore you to help us out and allow us, if nothing else, a trial period. And if the city of Harlingen sees that this is a nuisance or that it's just not something that you all want here, I will pick up my bags and I'll leave myself at the drop of a hat. But at this point, I'm invested, my landlord is invested. We have 600 members in this surrounding area who will come and play here and will create revenue for this city. There's just no two ways about it. Yes, sir.
I'm just
I have
curious.
a question.
Go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
Greg.
Do you all have a restaurant, or like you serve food?
No, sir. No, I don't dabble in any kind of cooked foods. We just offer snacks and drinks and the service of refereeing the game, so to speak, and keeping it fair and legal.
What would be
Yes,
the hours of operation?
Normally, my hours of operation vary in different cities, but right now I am shooting for from 1 o'clock in the afternoon being the earliest to 2 a.m. in the morning, like any other nightclub facility or venue.
Is that 7 days a week, or?
It is. It's 7 days a week, yes, sir. I mean, Edinburgh does 7 days a week. McAllen does 4 days a week. It's going to really depend on the attendees and the members that we develop.
The demand.
Correct, yes, sir, the demand. My risk has already been invested here in the city. I hate to use the word risk, but the fact of the matter is that it is, and I would hope that you all, as representatives of the city, would take that leap of faith with me and hopefully bring something that the city of Harlingen doesn't have. And the way it looks, it might not ever have it. But if it ever was going to, this is the Rolls Royce of the type of facility you want to occupy your city. A mom and pop can open, and there's no way to regulate it. There's just literally no way to regulate it. Our system demands accountability from us as owners to our faculty and our dealers and all the way down to our members. We want accountability for how they behave, what they pay, how they act, and so again, this would be the best case scenario for this type of venue.
What would a reasonable trial period be in your mind?
I will let you all dictate that to me.
Again, what would it be in your mind?
I would say I have a 4-year or 5-year lease agreement. I would say give me 1 year, and if in a year I interrupt this ecosystem in a negative way, send me a letter, and it's here on public record that I will not fight, argue, dispute, or litigate anything. If you give me a good shake at this, at the end of the year, I guarantee you I will be a feather in the city of Harlingen's hat, and nothing less.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
I say it wrong all the time.
Espericueta. It's fine. It's a tongue twister.
Sir.
So did you know Tiger?
I'm sorry?
Did you know Tiger
No.
from Edinburgh?
No, I can't say that I do know Tiger.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate you sharing this information with us. This is just a presentation, just to kind of give you some information. No action can be taken here at our level, so I know that you kind of alluded to that. We're going to talk about it in executive session, and then we can, then the staff obviously can get with you.
Oh, okay. So I won't know anything until more or less when. I've been at this since October, and I'm pretty
We understand, and we'll make it
anxious.
a priority, because I do understand the history and the financial investment, and we'll try to, do the best that we can to get you answers quickly. We are pro-business here in the city of
Absolutely.
Harlingen, and we want to do what's best for Harlingen, but we're going to allow council to speak with the commission on executive session.
Okay, so
Okay.
will I have to attend another one of these? or
No, sir.
Okay, all right, well,
Unless you're always welcome, you can
Thank you.
come, but
Thank
you
you.
don't need to present.
Madam Mayor, gentlemen of the commissioner, Mr. Sassi, I appreciate y'all's time and consideration once again. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Item number 8 is board appointments. Anyone have any board appointments?
Yes, ma'am, I have Brandy Pena to Keep Harlingen Beautiful, Delvin Smythe to the Veterans Advisory Board, Karen Dowling to the Museum Advisory Board, and a reappointment of Anthony Maldonado to Planning and Zoning Commission.
Anyone else? No? Okay, I have a few. Okay. I have Mr. Fred Uribe, who's here, to the Small Business Committee. I have a reappointment of Elaine Flores, who's also here, to the Community Development Advisory Board. Jessica Garcia to the Downtown Improvement Board. Javier Segura to CVB. Ruben Peña to the Airport Board. Dr. Martha Cano to the Airport Board. And Caitlin Renteria to the Library Board.
Actually, I have one. I wasn't sure we do the small business here. I'd like to put George Garcia to the Small Business Board,
Committee.
or committee, I'm sorry.
I have them right here too, Amanda. All right, and do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? I'm sorry, Daniel, did you have any appointments?
No, no.
Okay, great. All right, item number 9, we are going to executive session to discuss the following items: consultation with legal counsel pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.0712 to receive legal advice protected by attorney-client communication privilege, consultation with legal counsel pursuant to Texas Government Code subsection 551.071 to receive legal advice protected by the attorney-client communication privilege, and pursuant to 551.074 to deliberate the appointment of qualified applicant for the municipal judge of the City of Harlingen Municipal Court, and C, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.072 regarding the purchase, lease, or value of real estate if the deliberation in an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the position of the City of Harlingen in negotiations with a third person regarding some of the following projects, and Texas Government Code Section 551.087 regarding commercial and financial information from business prospects with which the city is conducting economic development negotiations, and/or to discuss or deliberate financial or other incentives relating to the following Project San Pedro. And with that, do we have a motion to go into executive
Motion.
session?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 6:33. We are going to executive session, and we will be out shortly for the remainder of the meeting. Thank you so much for your patience. The time is now 7:56, and we are out of executive session. And move on to item number 10, discussion and possible action regarding the appointment of a Harlingen Municipal Court judge.
Mayor, members of the commission, I am recommending that we appoint Noemi Garcia Martinez as our municipal court judge.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And item 11, consideration and possible action on Project San Pedro. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And that's our meeting, and it'll be adjourned. Thank you so much.
All right.